awesome. Thank you. So look, I know a lot of you folks are here on purpose this evening. You knew what the show was. You purchased the tickets. Thanks for coming. Sailors were sitting at home going, there's nothing on TV. Let's get drunk, go to that puppet show. So, got rid of one of the giant SUVs and got a Prius.
Go.
Prius.
Go. What the hell was on Peanut's butt?
Prius.
Well, I know some of you know what's going on this evening. I have little people in boxes, and I gotta tell you, the way security is at the airports nowadays when you try and check in with a small person in your luggage, they stop you. Most airports nowadays have these sophisticated equipment for checking your luggage. They're like big MRIs. They can check the contents, the materials, but some of the smaller airports don't. We all know Burbank Airport, just north of here a few miles, don't have all the sophisticated stuff. They still have to hand check a lot of luggage. I was in line about 3.5 weeks ago, early one morning, very crowded. And most people, when you get your luggage hand checked, it's no big deal. They might pull out your underwear like, ooh. But for me, they're pulling out dolls. The way they decide whose luggage they're gonna hand check is a complete judgment call on these guys' parts. They look at you and they decide, and apparently I looked like a terrorist with a trunk. Because sir, we gotta look in that trunk. I'm like, oh crap, here we go. So he takes the big trunk and he puts it on top of the silver table. He opens it up, and the first thing he pulls out is one of my little guys, Peanut. You'll see him in a little while. You might know Peanut. But he pulls Peanut out and he's like, hey. People in line are like, hey, and I'm like, oh. Now they have these swabs, and they swab whatever it is they're looking at. They then take the piece of material, they put it in the analyzer, it then checks to see if your stuff has come into contact with anything dangerous, chemicals, whatever. So the guy has Peanut in one hand, swab in the other. This is all true, it's too stupid to make up. He could have swabbed Peanut on the head, on the foot. No, in front of God and everybody, swabs his butt, just like that. I know it's only a puppet, but I work with the guy. There's a relationship here. And I'm sitting there watching this, and the first thing I find myself thinking is, you sick bastard. What the hell? Why are you wiping my friend's butt? He then takes the swab, puts it in the machine, shuts the door. I think we're finished. We start to put things away. Suddenly, the little machine goes, eh. 3 more guys come out. They have me up against the wall. They're checking my ID. They're doing a background check on the internet. They're going through all my stuff. Takes 15 minutes. Now we're finished. Everything is fine. Then we start to put things back. And then I start to think, what the hell was on Peanut's butt? That labeled me the potential terrorist. And this is all true. And I asked the guy, and he goes, well, it's all in code on the computer. Let's see. And he goes, that would be military-grade plastic explosives. And I go, what? And he goes, well, sometimes the machine confuses lotion for that. And I went, no, there's no lotion on the puppet's ass. I've been building bombs in my garage. You caught me, Skippy.
My wife and I live in LA, and we, not long ago, were the proud owners of 2 big giant SUVs, and we decided to do the economically and ecologically right thing. We got rid of one of the big giant SUVs and got a Prius. I don't know what you're laughing at. It's a great vehicle. You jump on the freeway and punch, and it goes... And when you can drive underneath an 18-wheeler and go, that is really dirty, and drive back out, that is just too damn small. It is kind of cool when you go to the gas pump to fill up, because in one tank you've driven like 2,000 or 3,000 miles, and you go and fill up, and it's like, oh, all done, I'll be damned. 10 cents, that's amazing. Not used to a vehicle like this, so I've always had big trucks and big SUVs, and the one vehicle I refuse to get rid of, I've had it for 10 years, it's paid for, I love this thing, I've taken good care of it. I know it's not politically correct to drive it anymore, but I don't care. It's the H1 Hummer, the real one, the big one, the military one. I love this thing. It has a 38-gallon tank. Gets 7 miles to the gallon. Diesel, where I live at its peak, was $3.84 a gallon. Yeah, I went to fill it up that week. It wasn't even empty. It cost me $148. I pushed the vehicle home. As it rolled into the driveway, I called my kids out and I said, "Girls, look at our new front yard ornament." Get in the Prius. You sucked at. I used to pick Priuses out of the grill of my Hummer. I started getting paid for doing my shows in the 7th grade. And I knew that if I was going to be a professional ventriloquist, I needed a professional photo. Now, my parents were supportive, but they weren't going to shell out the cash for that. So I thought, how am I going to get a professional picture of me and the dummy taken? And then it finally hit me. School picture day. What? I thought this was genius. All I had to do was show up at school with the dummy in the suitcase, stand in line. When it was my turn, I'd sit down, put the dummy on my knee, smile, click, professional photo. And that's what I did every year from the 7th grade through the 12th grade. The only trouble was they'd only take one photo, and that's what ended up in every yearbook. And that's why my daughters were horrified. It was boy, girl, girl, boy, boy with doll, girl. Don't believe me? There's 7th grade right there. There it is. I'm the one on the right. Look at that. That is Justin Bieber hair, damn it. So, 9th grade came along. I decided to do the same thing. This was the bicentennial year in our country, 1976. I was a patriotic lad, but I didn't want to dress like Uncle Sam. No, apparently, I wanted to dress like a 4th of July picnic table cover. You know, the funniest thing to me about that photo is the fact that I have braces. Why is that funny? Well, the rest of my life I'm going to be talking with my mouth shut, so what's the point? I know most of you look at these photos and thinking, this is the saddest human being we've ever met. Did you have any friends? Yes, I did. Here we are sitting in my bedroom one day. So now I had about 15 minutes in my show. I knew I wanted to add something else, some variety. I thought, music? Yes, something cool. Rock and roll guitar? No, something cooler. I'll play the trombone. I'm gonna let this photo soak in just for a minute. There is so much wrong here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's start with the least obvious, and that's my dummy up in the corner listening to me play the trombone. But now, let's talk about fashion, shall we? How did my mother even let me out of the house? And this wasn't some accident on a Saturday morning where I accidentally threw on the wrong clothes. This was an outfit I wore to school regularly. I don't know why I didn't get beat up on a regular basis. I must have gone to the store and said, "Do you have any pants that don't even go with themselves?" This next photo, you know, my parents were supportive, but every once in a while in a child's life, the parents must step in and say, enough is enough. Apparently, my parents did not do this, as is evidenced by this next photo. And by the way, none of these photos have been photoshopped. Everything is legit. Everything's real. I promise you. So that's how sad it is. But this next photograph, I don't remember how it happened. All I know is that we went to the professional portrait studio, and this was the family portrait that hung in our living room this big for years.